right, are we live? Hello, hello, are we live? This thing's not turning on, but I'm going to assume we are. Oh, man. I got tired all of a sudden. I just got some ice water. Anyway, we are live. It looks like we are. I'm texting somebody right now. Sorry about that. Anyway, or somebody's texting me, I should say. A friend of mine, she was going to come out and see me today, but she is sick. She went on a vacation last week and came back with a really bad cough. So anyway, we're trying to have her rest. Hi Dee, how you doing tonight? She's getting some rest and recouping. We got to get her better. But yes, she is texting me right now. So anyway, how you doing today, Dee? How was your Wednesday? It was Wednesday, wasn't it? Hump day. Wednesday, July 26th, 2023, the 26th. Ooh, we're getting almost done with July. Look at that. Any Hoosers. So, hold on a second. I gotta talk to somebody real quick. All right. Sorry about that. Somebody trying to get a hold of me. Anyway, hey D, she says yes all day. It is. Are you talking about being Wednesday? Yeah, it was. It still is. Well, it is that amazing, huh? It still is. Anyway, it is wonderful Wednesday, and so I went down and did my protest today, and I just got home like at 7 o'clock tonight. I left at 9 o'clock this morning, 9:30. I left at 9:30, and I got home at 7:30 or 7. I was gone for 10 hours today, and it was 92 degrees all day in the sun. So I got a little bit of heat stroke. I got kind of sick on the way home. I haven't eaten since yesterday, and I was going to eat when I got done, which is usually what I do. I usually come home and eat, but anyway, when I got home, I really didn't feel too good. I felt kind of sick, like I was going to throw up, and I had a headache, which is like heat stroke. So anyway, I did have something to eat, and I pounded down some more water. You know what was really cool? It was just like the whole day went awesome for me. And when I left there, my water, I had a gallon of water. It was so hot, it was like it was hot tea. So I thought, well, I can't go buy ice because it'll all melt, and I need a cup. So anyway, I stopped at the store, the gas station, and I asked them is there any way I could buy a cup filled with ice, and they said yes. It's 52 cents. So I went over, Got the biggest cup they had. It's called the Mega Buddy. I got the Mega Buddy filled with ice. And I went up to pay for it, and I said, that lady over there said it's 52 cents for a cup of ice, so that's what I got. And the lady behind the counter said, and I gave her a $5 bill. I was handing her a $5 bill, and she said, oh, here, wait a minute. You know how it's the give a penny, take a penny? Well, this store has got like a giant change jar there. And she digs into the change jar, and she takes out the 52 cents. She says, I got it for you. I said, wow, you guys rock, man. What an awesome gas station. So I got my 52 cents. She took this out of the change thing and bought it for me. Isn't that nice? Anyway, just rocked. That was on my way home. I need a cut. So anyway, I thought, wow, 52 cents. I'll do that. Anyway, I got up to the counter. She bought it for me. That's so cool. Anyway, it's just like that all day, man. Everything just went my way. So I'm super happy. Got a little sick when I got home because I was in 92-degree weather. Out in the beating sun, too. There's no shade. Yeah, it was really nice. It's just like, man, everybody. And right before I left, the police pulled up. Pulling up, I was on the phone with somebody, and I was getting ready to go because they closed. Once they closed the shop down, I packed my stuff up and leave. I'm just about ready to leave, and a police pulled up. Big smile with a thumbs up. And he said, hey, you are determined, aren't you? I said, yeah, I am. He said, well, he said, that's good that you're protesting. I like that. And anyway, that's a cop that's been kind of circling for days. And he said, he said, I said, yeah. He said, are you coming every day now? I said, no, a few times a week. I said, I live up in Hinckley. It's an hour and a half each way. And he said, wow, you are determined. So, yeah. Anyway, he said, all right, see you next time. So anyway, that was really cool. The police came, and right when I was leaving, they gave me a thumbs up. He pulled up to me and saw how it was going. And he said, man, you are one determined person, aren't you? I said, yeah. Anyway, it was nice. It was nice as I was left to have the police give me, and then the people gave me that free ice. It was really cool. The people in the shopping center are, yeah, it was really good to have his support. Yeah. You know, State Farm probably ripped him off too, you know what I mean? Because they're totally biased on my side. Just kidding. Not really biased, but you know what I'm saying. They're totally in support of me. So I haven't broken any laws, and he knows it. I'm doing a safe and lawful protest. And anyway, somebody's just texting me right now. So anyway, you know, they like when people do protests. It's better than trying to take the law in my own hands, just crazy or whatever. Anyway, he said it's good. It's a good thing that I'm protesting. He said, good for you. And he also said that last time he came, I talked to him last week. That cop said that there's a lot of countries you're not able to protest in, and I said, no, I know. I said, as a matter of fact, there's countries that will put you to death for doing what I'm doing right here. So I do appreciate America having the right to protest and the right to free speech and our amendments and everything else. So that's good. Yeah, there's a lot of countries that you can't do this. You'd be arrested or killed. I mean, oh, sorry about that. A little bug in here. So well, hello, Grace Styles comes in style. Good to see you tonight, Grace. Hope you had a wonderful day. I was down in the cities. I was down there protesting today at outside the devil's office himself. And it was a hot one. 92 degrees today down there. And I was out on the sidewalk getting beat down by the sun. What is that? Anyway, so when I got home at 7 or 7:30. I don't know. I got home tonight. I think it was 7:30. And yes, I was out there from 11 o'clock this morning. I got down there and I was there after 5 o'clock. I waited till every last person left that office because I was going to talk to each one of them on the megaphone. Because anyway, I won't even get into it. Oh, there was a fist fight today right in front of me. I didn't really cause it, but it started because I was protesting. And I was telling everybody, because there's a lot of black people there, and I was telling the black people that, do you guys know what? In December, just a few months ago, in the state of Illinois, in the federal courthouse, there was a class action lawsuit filed against State Farm for racial discrimination because they were not paying, and this is in 5 different states. No, I'm sorry, 6 Midwestern states. So another class action, they got multiple class action lawsuits right now. But another class action lawsuit was just filed in December and one in May. But anyway, the one in December was filed in the Illinois federal court, and it was on behalf of black homeowners who were not getting paid based on their color. They noticed that, like, the majority of black people never got paid on their home claims. So there is a class action lawsuit because they're not paying people if they're black. That's one of many. So I had a crowd of like black people around me, and this white lady drives up and she beeped because one of their cars was in the way, and the white lady beeped and she went around them, and the black lady said, "Shut up" or something. The white lady pulled ahead. She stopped her car right out in the middle of the intersection, opened her door, came running back and said, "You just pissed off the wrong bitch." And she went after that black lady, and the black lady wanted to fight, and another lady backed down. Then State Farm immediately called the police because they thought I started the fight, which I didn't. And then the white lady, I said, "Leave these people alone. Get back in your car." And then the white lady came after me. Anyway, I said, "Get out of here. I have a right to be here." And anyway, then she gets in her car, takes off without looking, almost smashed into something, hits the brake, skids, stops like within a hair of hitting another driver. And I'm like on the speaker saying, "Whoa, look at her," and everything. And it was crazy, man. It was crazy, man. Yeah, big brouhaha, man. A big fight. Anyway, yeah, I'm informing everybody. And I said, "Don't worry, white people. You're not getting paid either. White people aren't getting paid either. Black people get immediately rejected, and the white people get a little song and dance and then rejected." Okay, so we're all being unfairly treated, but the black people are instantly being denied their claims based on their color. And that's a fact, Jack. Oh no, Grace, get this. So as they're up there, my camera dies. I felt it vibrate and it died. And it was like at the end of the day. It was like 4:30. It was the end of the day. So I felt my camera die. And you know what? Every time my battery goes dead at the end of the day, something big happens. Last time my battery went dead is when the police came and tried to trespass me, or let the guy trespass me. And I told him, "You got to check the boundaries because they're trespassing me off property they do not own." After half an hour, the cop said, "Yep, you got a right to be here." Anyway, that was right after. So then today, I'm talking to this crowd of people, and I felt, because my phone is taped to my post, and I felt the vibration of my battery dying. And I immediately like thinking, oh crap, every time my battery dies, something exciting happens. So I've got 6 hours of tape, and then the battery died. So it was going from 11 o'clock this morning to about 4 o'clock, 4:30 is when it died. Anyway, and sure enough, the minute it died, that's when the lady pulled up, and then the big fight. And I'm like, dang. And then the one guy goes, did you get that on video? I said, no, my phone died like 30 seconds ago. Or getting this on tape. I said, no, right before that happened, my phone died. Like 30 seconds before it happened. Anyway. So guess who shows up? So the police immediately show up, and the police is a black lady. So the black lady cop, the white lady's already gone. The black people are still there, but they're going back. They're walking. They had already parked their car. They went into Chick-fil-A, got a drink, came out. And they were coming back to talk to me again. And then the police came, and the lady started walking away. Another cop started walking to her and saying, hey, get over here. And then anyway, I think she asked if I was involved, because if I'm involved, then I'm in trouble, because then I can be removed. So that lady said, nope, she's not involved. So every day down there is crazy, Grace. You wouldn't believe the stuff that happens. It was so funny. Every day is crazy, man. But you know what? The shop owners, the people, his next door neighbors bring me water every time. And last time they offered to buy me lunch. And then the shop on the other side of them are the ones that brought me the burrito the other day. So today the lady comes and brings me it was kind of funny because when I had that crowd around me, they one of the guys was a retarded guy. Anyway, the lady comes and hands me the water and says, here, another bottle of water. And the retarded guy grabbed it and said, thank you. And I just said, he can have it, whatever. And then the guy looked at it, and he had a drink in his hand, and he looked at the water, and he handed it to me. I said, thank you. I left after the last person went home. Yep. Yeah. No, I was still there long after the fight. I was still there a half hour, 45 minutes after the fight. No, I wasn't going anywhere. I wasn't in trouble. Nope, the cop didn't even come over to me. She talked to those people. The other first lady had left, the one that started the fight. And then the other people were, well, there was nothing to talk about. I wasn't involved. The other lady left. It was over by the time the cops came. That cop didn't even come over and talk to me. Not at all. No, and then right before I left today, I was packing my stuff up to go, and the police pulled right up next to me. I was on the phone with somebody. My ex-husband called. He wanted to know how it went. And I'm telling them all about it, and the police pulled right up as I'm talking to them. And they came up with a big smile and a thumbs up. They said, you are determined. You really are determined. I said, yep. I told them how far I have to drive to do this, too. Anyway, the police like that I'm protesting, that I'm exercising my First Amendment right. And they're totally cool. So anyway, shout out to the police that actually protected me for, once they found out that State Farm couldn't trespass me off of property they don't own, then after that, nothing more to talk about. So yeah, they're just gonna have to put up with me. Yeah, it's crazy. But I had 6 hours on camera right before that. And the weird thing is my phone, which only has a tiny memory, my spare 3G phone, my old phone, it's not hooked up to nothing, but it knows how to record. And even with no memory, it will record 47 minutes. It will shut off and start again, another 47 minutes, shut off, restart, another 47 minutes. So when I get home every day, I've got about 6 47-minute videos, whatever adds up to 6 hours, you know what I mean? So yeah, most of it, but yeah, the fight was not on. Dang. And I almost wish that lady would have crashed her car, because it would have been total karma. She should have never got out of the car and started fighting, you know what I mean? Should have just kept going. Yeah, and then she came after me. I didn't ever even left the sidewalk. I stood on my sign and yelled at her on my speaker. The that's not, it's not against the law. So yeah, when I got home, felt really sick. I hadn't eaten since yesterday. That was intentional because when I'm gone, even when I worked all day, I used to never eat till I got home. I do not want to eat when I'm out working. It doesn't sit well. Um, I always worked hard labor and waited till I was completely done with my job. This is weird. Look at that. Yeah, look at the time. It's almost exactly the same. What does the Bible say about slavery? 103 minutes. Yesterday's 103 minutes. Isn't that weird? Both 103 minutes. The other one's 110 anyway. So I was setting this up for tonight. I was just going to have a little chat because I cannot put nothing together, guys. I just came home. I don't feel well. But I'm starting to feel better now. I had a taco when I got home and a lot of water, about a gallon of water, and I'm starting to kind of feel better. But anyway, but when I was looking through here, I was waiting to come on. One thing I forgot when we were going over these Egyptian gods, the Roman gods, the 12 Olympian gods. One thing I forgot was the Syrian gods. You guys, I forgot some other gods, okay? It dawned on me that there are other places that have their gods too. And you know who's one of them? Syria. In Syria, they have the god Dagon. You know Dagon, the fish god? Well, they worship that in Syria, and that's where Samson, Samson and Delilah, when Samson got his hair cut, when she didn't cut it, but she got him in a position to cut it. But anyway, when Samson got his hair cut, I mean, some people think he lost his strength because they cut his hair. No, that's not why. They cut his hair because he was supposed to be a Nazarene from birth, never touch any products made of grapes. What was he doing all night? Getting drunk. There's a lot of stuff Samson was doing that was violating his Nazarite laws, like grape products. You can't have grapes or wine. And he was designated from birth. But anyway, one thing I wanted to say, because this is not going to take that long. I can get through this, but so I'm having a short chat about Samson and Dagon, the god Dagon, because yeah, she should have kept driving, and I wish she would have smashed her car up. That would have been total karma, man. But almost. When she skidded, she took off so mad. She took off she was parked she stopped her car in the intersection, opened the door, left the door open, and came back to fight. She went back to the intersection to get it in her car, and she was so mad she got in her car, put it in drive, and just took off without looking. And another car was coming, and she skidded the brakes, stopped like within a hair of hitting that other car. Like I said, I almost wish she would have, but that wouldn't have been fair to the other people. She would have hit a post or something. That would have been cool. Anyway, yeah, and they were telling her, yeah, it is crazy. This lady was out of her mind. And then she came after me. I told her, leave these people alone. Get back in your car. It's none of your business what's going on here. She said, you're out here disturbing the peace. I said, no, actually, you're disturbing the peace. I'm doing what's lawful. You're breaking the law. Then she got really mad, and then she went back, and then the other lady came, ran back to her car. State Farm thought I started the riot, so they immediately called the police. I saw them in the window calling the police, and those ladies they're on the other side of the car, and I don't know if anybody hit, but they were ready to fist fight. And like waiting for they're screaming at each other. One's waiting for the other one to hit. Anyway, I'm like, you know what? I think that lady can handle herself. These women were tough. Anyway, and I didn't want to get in trouble because I still want to be there. So yeah, it was crazy. Yep. Because I had a crowd of people, so the cars were kind of So people were kind of parked on the side listening like they're at a drive-in theater. So I had people parked on the side where other people could just go around them. But this lady wanted to make a big deal out of them parked on the side. State Farm wants to blame you for all their... Yeah, I know. Even though they got multiple class action lawsuits pouring in every direction. Yeah. No, they want me to get trespassed, but it ain't going to happen. Trying my hardest not to break any laws. I haven't said anything threatening or bad or blocked the sidewalk or too many decibels. I've done everything by the book. So I haven't said any swear words, no threats, nothing. And normally I do, you know what I mean? When I'm mad. Anyway. So I'm on like my best behavior down there, you know what I mean? Believe me, I wish I could have gotten involved in that. If it's outside my house with no cops around it and I wasn't protesting, yeah, I would have totally got involved more. A little bit involved. But they didn't really need my help. All right, let me mute this because I'm just going to pull up my chat so I can see you guys. Well, guess what? I got the best advice ever today because some people were, well, a lot of people came. I got these interviews on video too. When people were coming up, they were telling their horror stories from State Farm. And anyway, one guy told me what he did. He went to the government, which is the insurance commissioner. And the government can get involved. They don't care what the rules are. They're getting involved. So anyway, I got a good tip he told me who to call and who to get a hold of and what to say about my claim in like a format, you know what I mean? Like how I need to have like the bids and everything ready. Something on my screen here. What the heck is that? Anyway, I forgot I had the video on. Anyway, so Sinead O'Connor died today, or it was announced Sinead O'Connor died. And if you watch Gematria channels or anything like that, you'll see that she was tied in with the Catholic, the Jesuit, the 201. You know what I'm saying? Oops. Yeah, how they tried to trespass me. Yeah, they almost did, man. The cop was ready to give me a trespass order. I saved them a civil lawsuit because they would have violated my First Amendment right by protesting me off a sidewalk he doesn't even own. I told the cop, suppose you had a sidewalk going through your front yard, a city sidewalk. Lots of people do. Do you think they're able to run out there and start trespassing people off a public sidewalk? That's insane. He doesn't own this sidewalk. He wishes he did. Anyway. No, you do it over the computer. You get a hold of him over the computer and fill out that. But yeah, when I talked to him on the phone, yeah. Yeah, the other guy said that he had troubles for, 3 years with the insurance company. And he got a hold of these people in 4 days. He had a check. So, and what they do, their government, it's a government entity that oversees insurance companies. And so if the insurance companies are breaking the law, they intervene, which they did. They broke the law with me. So hopefully they'll intervene and help resolve this. I'd much rather be at home with my dogs and out in my garden or something than be 100 miles away on a hot sidewalk, yelling my brains out. I don't even have to yell because I got that nice megaphone. So I can just talk like this, like I'm talking now. So at the end of the day, my throat ain't all sore. Yeah. Anyway, so today is, it was a lot of stuff about Catholics in the news today. You know what? Remember I was just talking about human trafficking? How all through the Bible they seem to think it's just fine? Even the Joseph's own brothers sold him into, trafficked him, I mean, into Egypt. And I mean, and look at Hagar. You know, Abraham pretty much trafficked Hagar from Egypt and turned her into his sex slave or whatever slave you want to call it. And anyway, so I just saw as I was coming on here, I don't know why they put it, but anyway, it said President, Vice President, or ex, whatever he is, President Trump. Trump just put out a statement that he wants a death penalty for human traffickers. The death, you know, it's just whatever, scam or employees doing whatever. Anyway, so he's asking for the death penalty for human traffickers, which is funny because I just talked about human trafficking, I think last night or the night before, I can't remember. So anyway, there's a lot of stuff about Catholics in the news today. And speaking of Catholics, we're going to talk about Samson and Dagon. And it's not going to be a real long thing here. I'm just going to, and the reason I'm bringing this up, not just because of all this Catholic stuff, just Sinead O'Connor and the Catholic Church. Remember on Saturday Night Live, she ripped up the Pope's picture or whatever. And then she dies like 201 days after whatever. It's so it's all coded. And anyway, and so there's a couple Catholic stories in the news today. And speaking of Catholic, we're going to go to the Catholic Church and the Dagon, the fish god that they worship. So if anybody doesn't know, the Catholic Church literally worships Dagon, the fish god. And I'll show you how and why if you're new here. But so Samson, you know, Samson and Delilah. So Samson, the story of Samson, in case anybody doesn't know, I'll just kind of briefly talk about it. So Samson is supposed to be a Nazarite. He's not supposed to drink. He's not supposed to have anything of grapes. He's not supposed to party. He's not supposed to have tons of women or whatever it is, the Nazarite vow that his mother took before he was born. So he's not supposed to do that. Anyway, so he's out drinking and partying, and he's at some wedding for a week long, which is drinking. And anyway, so he gets, you know, in a vulnerable position with Delilah. And Delilah is working with the Philistines and gets him vulnerable, and then they cut his hair because they believe his strength was in his hair. But it really wasn't. I believe his strength was in coming from God because of his Nazarite vow. And when he got drunk and everything else, he lost his strength. He broke his vows in multiple different ways. And then cutting his hair was just, I think it was just kind of a, you know, kind of a message. It was just kind of a, it's not what caused him to lose his strength. But anyway, so he gets his hair cut. He I think God took his strength away, whatever. So they bring him into captivity, and they poked Samson's eyes out and blinded him. So they poked his eyes out. They cut his hair. They poked his eyes out, and they tied him to a chained him to the thing that donkeys do. And he worked like you know how the donkeys go in circles with a millstone. Well, they made him work like a donkey with the millstone. And anyway, they also used him for entertainment. So they had him at this Dagon temple in Syria. It's Philistines, right? Anyway, so they're in Syria. He's brought into captivity into Syria, and they, like I said, he's working as a slave. They poked his eyes out. He can't see nothing. He doesn't even want to live anymore. So eventually his hair grew back. Eventually he got his strength back, and nobody knew it but him. So he goes on to, the Syrians have him, and they bring him to this Dagon temple. And when he's in the temple, they're using him like for entertainment, some event or something. So Samson decides he's going to just end it all and take everybody with him. So Samson is in the church. It's actually a Dagon temple. And where they worship the fish god. And so Samson feels, so the pillars are what's holding up the ceiling, right? The pillars back then, they held up the ceiling. So he feels for one pillar, he feels for the other pillar. He's got both pillars. He's got one on each hand. So he decides to take everybody out. And he says, I'm going to die with the Philistines. And he pushes the pillars and it all caves in. Now, where was this? I'm going to show you. And the reason I'm going over this because I was looking at my last, come on, man. I'm up here. The dog wants to get under the desk. So I was looking at my thumbnails when I was coming on here, and I thought, you know what? I totally forgot about Dagon and the Syrian gods. Anyway, I don't know if we're going to get it back into that again. But we didn't cover all the gods. We got the Olympian gods, the 12 Olympian gods. We had the Egyptian gods. We had the Roman spin-offs of the, we had the Greek Roman gods. And there's more gods. And I thought, what about Dagon? And then, because I was just looking at some Catholic stuff, anyway, because of this Catholic Day, I thought, that's right. There's a lot of gods that we didn't cover, and Dagon is one of them. So I just wanted, in case anybody doesn't know, if you're new or whatever, Dagon is the fish god, and that's where the Catholic Church worships Dagon. And I'm going to show you real quick. This is Dagon. It's a fish god. This is Dagon, the fish god, who the Syrians, one of the gods that they worshiped. And it was in this temple where Samson died, where he took his life. He pushed the pillars, so he pushes the pillars down, the walls, the ceiling caves in, and everybody's killed. He killed thousands, took thousands of people with him. So the whole place collapsed. He's dead. Everybody's dead. Anyway, but that was in the temple of Dagon. And Dagon is the fish god here. These look like gargoyles. In fact, one of them I'm going to show you. This one looks like the slee stack, remember? Remember the slee stacks on Land of the Lost? Or whatever it was? Anyway, so Dagon is a fish god. And if anybody doesn't know, Dagon is a Syrian god. And he used to swim in the sea. And they would, I'm imagining, I don't know which sea, the Mediterranean Sea, whatever. But anyway, so people that worship this god would go up to the edge of the water, and they'd summon this thing, call out for this thing, and the thing would he would come up to the shore, and then they would like ask him for favors and stuff. Anyway, so this thing would like swim up to the shore and listen to people, and then try to grant their favors or whatever it was. So anyway, this thing, this Dagon is a fish god, and so you see that, right? You see the hat where it is a fish? Here it is. So Dagon, see, oh, it's Assyrian. Okay, Assyrian Dagon, the fish god. So see Dagon, see his hat? See his fish? That's the hat the Catholics wear. They call it a mitre. A mitre. The Catholics is a fish hat called the mitre. Origins of Catholicism is the fish hat, the mitre. Pagan origins of Catholicism, the mitre. The fish hat mitre. Fish mitre. And you know what? The word was getting out, so the Catholics tried to debunk it. No, it has nothing to do with that. Anyway, here you go. Dagon, the fish god, Catholic Church. They worship Dagon. The Dagon fish mitre hat, worn by the pagan priests of Nimrod, Baal, and the Roman papacy. As you can see, the fish hat. Something very fishy in Western religion, that's right. It's the Dagon, the fish god. That's right. Anyway, I wanted to bring that up because I totally forgot about the Syrians, and anyway, look at them, all with their fish hats. It's called a mitre. They call it a mitre. The Dagon mitre right here. And as a matter of fact, it was worn even back then by the bishops or whatever they were. The Dagon mitre. The head of Dagon, the fish god of Babylon. So this is a Babylonian god. The mitre of a bishop. So the bishops wear. You can trust him, can't you? Ah, he looks so holy. This thing doesn't bend over, so I gotta do this. This is the same hat worn by the Pope and the bishops of Rome. Rome, you say. Mitre hat of the Dagon priest resembles the open mouth of a fish. Fold your hat there. Why is the Pope's mitre shaped like a fish? Oh, don't ask questions, you silly gooses. That you just let them worry about that. You just keep giving them money. That's your job. You just keep the money. They'll figure out how to wear their hat and what it's about. There it is. Again. So anyway, I was thinking, we could go into another series of, like I said, totally forgot about Dagon. So we went through like every section of ancient gods, but we didn't do that. Anyway, the whole Catholic thing today jogged my memory about Dagon, which jogged my memory about they were not covered in our series of ancient gods. Look at Dagon worship, the fish god. Is he kissing a god? Look at his hat. Oh man. Anyway, so I just figured I'd mention that. Maybe I might be looking into starting another series on the Assyrian gods, and like I said, there's a lot more gods in the Bible that we didn't cover. Dagon, and one of just many. But we did cover some of the ones in the Bible, the Roman and the Olympian and the Egyptian ancient gods. But anyway, so I did want to mention that. I totally forgot there's another set of gods that we missed, or that I missed, I should say. So I don't know, maybe in the future we might be covering those. So when you see things like this, then you know what they're symbolizing. Most people, they know he's got a weird hat. Most people know his hat is weird. But they don't know that it's a fish and it's a Dagon, worshiping the Dagon, ancient god. Yeah, no coincidence. And then the Catholic, look at the Catholic apologists put this out on Facebook. No, refuted. No, we have nothing to do with Dagon. No, it just happens to be a weird hat. And yeah. Listen, the hat's not the only thing that they're worshiping Dagon with. So, nice try. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm going to recoup and get some stuff done. Get a hold of those people who can maybe go after State Farm. And kind of rest from today. It was a rough day, man. It was so hot out there. Crap. But you know what? I'm in like a corridor, so there's kind of a hot breeze. So there's kind of a breeze, so it kind of saved me from completely cooking. So you know what I heard on the radio today? It is so hot, like in many places, Arizona, Texas, where D is Oklahoma, where it's over 100 degrees for days and days and days. Anyway, so today they said that the emergency room burn units are filled with people getting burned because anybody who falls on the ground ends up with like first, second, and third degree burns just from touching the ground. So anybody who falls on the ground ends up in intensive care sometimes in the emergency room. And they said because the asphalt is 40 to 60 degrees hotter than the air. So if it's 100 degrees out, that asphalt is probably 160, and you could literally fry an egg on it. So people, anybody who's falling or falls on the ground or touches the ground, they're ending up with severe burns in the burn unit, so be careful. Anyway, so that is all I wanted to go through tonight. I kind of just don't feel good. It's got so overheated today. And they didn't even leave till after 5. Usually when I go there, they just cut out early, like an hour early. They go home about 4, but today 2 people stayed till after 5, so I just got baked out, man. Anyway, so I'm just going to recover and drink a bunch of water and try to rest. So anyway, not going to do a whole lot other than this tonight. So I'm going to sign off. And tomorrow is Thursday, which, I don't know. I'll think about that tomorrow. Might do one more short study. I do want to cover those cults, the Christian cults and the doomsday cults. That's going to be a lot of days in a row because that's a lot to cover on that. So anyway, I'm not going to start that back up. I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. But anyway, I'm going to sign off. Yes, I know. Thanks, Grace. I've been pounding down water since I left there. I had a few sips today of water, but didn't want to drink too much because that's not good either. So, because there's no, I'd have to go to a restaurant to go to the bathroom. If I drink a gallon of water, it's got to come out somewhere. So anyway, I didn't drink much during the day, but yeah, I'm pounding water now. So anyway, good night to Grace. Good night to Dee. Rest up. Good night, Kat. Well, good night to you too, Dee. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for coming in, Grace. Anybody else who listened, thanks for listening. And if you're listening on the replay, thanks for listening on the replay. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I hope you sleep well tonight. And I hope you all have a blessed with a restful night's sleep. And I hope you all have an awesome day tomorrow. Have an awesome Thursday. And rock on. Well, thanks, Grace. I'm just kind of starting to feel a little bit better because it didn't hit me till I got home. Ugh. Anyway, I'm starting to feel a little better. So, good night. God bless you all. Shalom. Be blessed.